In today's video, I'm gonna tell you the only unforgettable way to memorize the Quran. But here's the thing, I'm working 40 hours, going to the college for another 40 hours, so I don't have a lot of time. Therefore, I go in a lot of trial and error for around 10 years of memorizing the Quran to extract the method I'm gonna tell you in today's video. First, why you have to memorize the Quran. I'm gonna give you 2 life benefits and another 2 Jannah benefits. When I was young, I have friends that have a terrible memory and he always cannot remember anything. But suddenly, after a couple of years, I figured out that he have a magnificent memory. He can remember any person's name. He can remember any lesson we taken in high school. He become unforgettable. When I talked with him about that, I figured out that he started memorizing the Quran 4 years ago, and he actually finished around half of it. And after finishing half of the Quran, he figured out that he have unforgettable memories. And that is not actually a 1% benefit, because this happens all times in every single country on earth. Every single one started to memorize the Quran. After meanwhile, he figured out that he can memorize anything. Imagine with me how this is powerful. If you are a high school student studying for exam and you can remember all of the lesson by only reading this lesson for 1 or 2 times, or you are working as sales and you can remember every single client name, you will be unforgettable for these people. Every single time they want to buy the same product, they come to you because you actually start building connection with them, because you can remember their name by only listening to this name once. And this is the first benefit. You will get a best memory ever. Another benefit you're gonna get from the Quran is that you will have a guidance. Imagine with me, you are going on a street and you find out that there are 3 main streets and you don't actually know where you have to go, and you look at the GPS and figure out that the GPS telling you have to go right. That is actually what does the Quran do to you when you memorize it. If you are going to do a thing, the Quran will tell you actually what you should do. Let me give you an example. In Surah Al-Muddathir, you will find that every single one will do these 4 things, will go to Saqar. ما سلككم في سقر قالوا لم نك من المصلين ولم نك نطعم المسكين وكنا نخوض مع الخائضين وكنا نكذب بيوم الدين حتى أتانا اليقين. I think you now understand what I mean by the guidance. Every single time you're gonna do one of these 4 things, you want to remember this ayah from Surah Al-Muddathir that if you do these 4 things, you will go to Saqar, which one of the hardest levels of the hell. I think no one wants to do that, right? Now, what about the heaven? What about the benefits you're gonna take when you meet Allah? You're gonna actually find around 8 or 10 things, but I'm not gonna tell you all of 8 things because you're gonna forget all of them. Therefore, I'm gonna give you only 2 of these things. A first benefit you're gonna get in Al-Akhirah, which is every single surah you will recite, you will get a better place at Al-Jannah. Imagine with me, you get yourself to a specific level of Jannah and you are memorizing the Quran in al-Hayat al-Dunya, in life, so you will get a better place because you can recite more surahs than a lot of people. A second benefit you're gonna get, which is every single letter you're gonna read in the Quran, you will get a 10 hasanat, 10 reward, which when you think about it, you're gonna find out that this is amazing reward. If you read Surah Al-Ikhlas, which is actually 2 lines, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Qul huwallahu ahadun Allahu samad lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakun lahu kufuwan ahad. In this position, while I'm reciting Surah Al-Ikhlas in front of you in a camera, 470 rewards. That is amazing. That is mind-blowing, guys. Now you know why you have to memorize the Quran. Let's go on a 4 things. If you do, you will not gonna be able to memorize the Quran. A first thing you have to stop doing is stop doing thin. Every single time you will do thin, you will not gonna be able to memorize the Quran. You have to start first with doing a tawbah. And another thing you have to stop doing, which is listening to the music, and start listening to the Quran. So first thing, you have to understand the language. And if you can understand the language, at least read the subtitle of the English translation of the ayah. A fourth thing you have to stop doing is taking a big chunks at once. Imagine with me, you are walking down the street and you find out an ice cream shop, and you go to this ice cream shop and order 1,000 cone of ice cream. You tell yourself, I'm gonna eat every single day 100 cone to finish this 1,000 cone in only 10 days. That is unrealistic goal. Every single time you tell yourself, I'm gonna finish the Quran in 1 year or 2 years or 20 months by memorizing one page per day, that is actually what you are saying to yourself. I'm gonna eat 1,000 cone of ice cream in 10 days, and that is actually unachievable, unrealistic. You have to be actually realistic with yourself. I'm working 40 hours, I'm going to the college another 40 hours, I'm sleeping for 8 hours, so I only have around 8 hours every single week for the Quran. So I have to only work on the Quran for this 8 hours. And remember, consistency is a king. If you be consistent for 4 years, I swear, I guarantee to you, you will be able to memorize the whole Quran. Now, let's move to the nitty-gritty details about how to memorize the Quran. And first step is a passive repeat. Imagine with me, you go to the gym and you put your earbuds in your head and playing the surahs that you are trying to memorize. And after that, you go to your car and play the same surah in your car. And when you listen to this surah in your car and you are driving, you are trying to repeat what you are hearing, even you can't understand it. If you can't give the same tone, the same pronunciation, the same tajweed, you only repeating what you can hear. After listening to the same surah for 10 times, 20 times, and try to repeat it passively, you're gonna find yourself able to memorize around 50% of the surah. Because actually, when you look at the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he learns the Quran by only listening, by only using his ears. A second step you have to start doing after passive repeat is active repeat. You go and open your mushaf and start repeating the same ayah you read after listening to it to the same sheikh you are playing to the surah out of it. Let's say you are trying to memorize the surah Ar-Rahman and you listen to the sheikh in your phone say Ar-Rahman Allama al-Qur'an. You stop the play button, repeat it maybe 10 times, maybe 4 times, maybe 7 times. What if you didn't understand what is the meaning of Ar-Rahman? You go to Google and write Ar-Rahman. It's the same spelling of the ayah in front of you, and you're gonna find a lot of sites that explains this. And never, never, ever use chatbot to understand anything about Islam. You can memorize 3 pages per week, 2 pages per week, or even a 1 page every week. After memorizing things, you have to start revision. Look at the graph in front of you right now. A new page, a year old, and year old. Let me give you an example. If you are memorizing the Quran from Surah Al-Nas going to Surah Al-Fatiha, and you now are in Surah Al-Asr, you have now to start giving yourself a year old, which is you are in Surah Al-Asr, which is a new thing to memorize. You have to go in a Quraysh, for example, as a year old, and you have to go to Al-Falaq and Al-Nas, which is gonna make the Quran unforgettable in front of your mind, because you are always constantly repeating and reading the old things. And now let's go and practice. Go to the sheikh, go to someone, and start sharing this goal with him. And if you can't do that, that is because you have a lack of confidence. And if you didn't know how to build your confidence, you can watch this video right here to understand how.